It's been 112 days since the nice guy that I married left to work on himself while I continue to hold down the fort here, which has been wonderful because I didn't realize how much I had been carrying. I did not realize how much I had been carrying. No matter how much I was resentful about how much I'd been carrying, not only had I been so exhausted by how much I'd been carrying, but also the fact that every step of this, I would hear out of his mouth, I want this to work. I want to fix this. I want to work on our marriage. I want all these things to be. But then when I would say, okay, what is your plan? No plan. Crickets. Well, we'll just do these separate things and we'll do the therapy thing. And that's all. That's what we're doing. We're checking off boxes. And still on 112 days, we are checking off boxes. And I said this yesterday, that I was done waiting around. And I am very much done waiting around. I have put in blood, sweat, and tears this entire time for 19 years trying to do everything, because that's the thing about being a people pleaser. When you are at your core a people pleaser, you are doing every single thing to be liked by another person. So you learn them meticulously. You learn all their habits, you learn all their likes, all their dislikes, and you become the embodiment of that. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a really shitty way of living. And your body will feel that stress long before your mind catches up with it. And then when you heal, your mind will figure it out long before your body does. And I said I wasn't sure what that really meant by feeling safe in your body, because I'd never felt safe in my body. As I have begun to feel safety in my body, I understand what that means now. Because there are still times that when we are interacting, that I want to go back to those old habits where I feel the tension radiate in my body that is screaming, reach out, do more, you can do more, you can do more. And yet, logically, both my heart and my head is going, no ma'am. No ma'am. We're not doing that anymore. And it's still painful. It still feels like death every single day. Because he is still selling a lie to himself, and that he's trying to play with me, that he wants to keep moving forward. But really, he wants to keep moving forward, getting all the things that I gave him before, while maybe changing just here and there. That's not how this works. So we're now at 112 days, and I think it's really sad to think about the fact that my actual marriage is over. I mean, realistically, it's probably been over for a really long time. But the people pleaser in me was still up until the last minute trying to fix it. You can't fix something by yourself. You can't fix this by yourself. A partnership doesn't work that way. Both people have to be showing up. That's 112 days.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, welcome on board. So this lady has been literally attacked on social media for saying that she has a good man that pays the bills, make sure that all the children and everything is being taken care of, right? But she still feels unfulfilled. She still feels unhappy to the point that she, complained to the husband, and the husband now is taking, like a break, from being in the house and being in the marriage for now to work on himself and all those stuff, right? And people are literally coming for her that it's just about her, me, what I want. But one thing people fail to understand is that there is a point in a woman's life where she has hormonal imbalance, she has perimenopause, she has menopause. A lot of these things comes with a lot of emotional drainage, because a lot of men do not even understand these stages of a woman's life, right? A lot of men are providers, like good providers, but they are not emotional providers or physical providers. Like a man would take off his own responsibilities, but emotional abuse, most men that tend to provide, not all men that tend to provide, they always complain about it. It's like someone is forcing them to do it, and at the end of the day they become resentful. They might not really outrightly physically abuse you, but they emotionally abuse you because they feel as if since they've been providing, you should shut up and just be grateful that you're being provided for. So they do not follow up on that, balancing the emotional well-being of their partners. And especially once you understand how the physiology of a woman works, over time as women aged, we have, just like I said, hormonal imbalance like that comes with transitioning from perimenopause to menopause. Like a lot of women are suicidal, a lot of women have depression, a lot of women are like, it's so hard, a lot of physical changes on their bodies, emotional changes in their bodies, their chemical and hormonal changes in their bodies make women you need to be like on par, you need to like be into it to understand these dynamics in order to help your woman. And if you're not seeing that and you couple it up with emotional abuse, it makes it worse, to the point that even if you are a provider and settling all the bills, women will still not appreciate it. A lot of men do not understand that, and a lot of women are calling men to pay attention, like, please pay attention. A lot of men do feel as if women are asking for too much. Like, you should be grateful. I pay all the bills. I do all these things. But they forget that even the fact that you pay the bills, women are doing most of the work at home. Do you know what it means to stay back home and take care of children? It's a hard thing to do. You give birth to them. You hold them in your belly for 9 months. You took care of them when they're little, even till they are, adults. It doesn't even stop. It's draining. You do a lot of work around the house, especially if you cook. And some women are even adding it up with their own, they work too. So a lot of things goes into it. That's why marriage is really hard. You really need to pay attention. If not, you're going to lose it. So guys, drop your thoughts in the comments regarding this topic. And do you think the woman is being selfish? Is it just all about her, me? Or you think they should, reach an equilibrium where everyone understands the partner's, needs? So drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think.
I married the nice guy. The guy who made me laugh. I married the guy who was stable, who didn't yell. I married the guy who wasn't afraid to get down on the floor and play with kids. I married the guy who laughed really loudly, who didn't seem to care if anybody was watching. I married the guy who was soft with me, who listened to me on the phone for hours. I married the nice guy. I married the nice guy when I was 23 years old. I married the guy who'd come from a family who felt like life is hard, we're not going to make it easy on you. And what's funny is he married the nice girl, the girl who did everything to please somebody else, who molded herself to be the epitome of what other people wanted me to be. He married the girl that said, yes, let me show up and do more. He married the girl who said, I have absolutely no needs. None. Why would I have needs when I can show up and take care of you? He married the girl who said, I am low maintenance, just like one of the guys. I'll sit and watch sports with you for hours. You need to watch a rom-com? No, I'm good. It's okay. We'll do this. We'll do what you want to do. 20 years later, after realization after realization, after year, realizing this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what I thought marriage was going to be. The struggles that we've had aren't getting any better. They just seem to be replicating themselves and getting worse. I started looking around at my kids and seeing children who needed more from their parents. I married the nice guy, and he married the good girl. And 20 years later, we're 5 months separated, working through some of the hardest parts of marriage. Because it would be easy for me to say, I'm done, we're calling it quits, There's been too much hurt. There's been too much pain. There's been too many conversations that have ended in, yes, I will do this. Yes, I want that. And very little action to show for it. After 3 years of growth for myself, the biggest takeaway I can give you now is work on you. There is nothing more important than relearning the safety skills that we needed to learn to show up better in a partnership. Because while we were raised by generation after generation that said, life is hard, I'm not going to make it easier on you, that's exactly what we needed. We needed the softness. We needed the care for ourselves. We needed the tools that said, this is how you show up for you first. Because the partnership, a marriage, is not where one person dissolves into the other. It's when two whole people show up and say, I want you to be my anchor through the storm that life will give us. Because life's never going to get easier. But the person you pair up with, the person you partner with for life, should make it easier. But when we go into marriage with tools that were broken, that were only really there to protect ourselves from more harm, all we did was learn how to have partnerships that erased your identity, that allowed no space for the two of you to grow together. It left only room for ego. A different marriage means that you need to show up differently for yourself first.
Dealing with someone else every single day of your life. Every day. I've been married for about 7 years. I don't know if I want to continue doing this every single day of my life. Like, always checking in with someone, always having to consider their feelings, it's always somebody else. You're never alone. Even if it's absolutely worth it, I don't think it is. Even if you found the most perfect man, it's not worth it. It's not, like, it's always gonna be best to just, like, be alone. And maybe that's why so many men tell older women they're gonna be alone and be so sad. I'm sad with a gray man. Like, imagine living a fairy tale and it's nothing like you imagine it. You're living your literal fairy tale and it's not what you want. It's not what you want. Even if you think that you want it, even if it's exactly what you dreamed of, it's still...
Told you, a woman said she had the perfect husband. He did everything for her, and yet still, it wasn't enough. Take a look at this video. You won't believe this.
I made the right decision, like...
She even said, hey, I want to travel more. And we did that. Ma'am, go ahead and let that man go be with somebody that wants him. Stop playing with that man, okay? You obviously fell in love with him for what he could do. Now it's time for you to let him go to somebody that actually loves him for him. Listen, when women say there are no good men out here, there are. What a lot of women are basically saying, there are not a lot of men out here that they actually want, that are doing all those things for them. Because, ma'am, you said this man was the perfect husband for you, then turned around and said you wanted to travel, and you did that. What do you want from this man? I'll tell you what you want. You don't want nothing. You just playing games.
That woman who said she's been married for 7 years to a good man and she's still unhappy prove exactly why a lot of men say you can never please a woman. A man can be faithful, provide stability, give you a nice house, the car, the family, and the damn dog. You still wake up one day and say, no, I'm just not happy anymore. See, most women start losing interest at around year 2 or 3. This is when the honeymoon phase is ending. After that, that's when the dopamine, serotonin, and the oxytocin levels start to decline. That's when women start noticing flaws that they once ignored. The men who once seemed exciting and charming, now I feel like he's predictable and boring. You start comparing your relationship to what you see on TV, social media, what you see around you, comparing your relationship to the Sierras and Russell Wilsons of our time. And by year 5, the discontent gets stronger. You start unnecessary arguments. You get annoyed by the little things he does. And then by year 7, you tiptoeing around divorce. And then you end up on social media crying to strangers about how unhappy you are, even though you got a good man and you live in a fairy tale life. All because you no longer feel the butterflies. It's just not exciting as it was before. And now you in the true stage of a relationship, the one that really matters, where you must now prove to him why his decision to court you, wine and dine you, cherish you, and get on bended knee to marry your ungrateful ass wasn't a waste of his damn time.
Oh my God, I'm so unhappy. I've been dealing with this. Oh my God, I don't know what life telling me what to do. I don't even know if I want to be with somebody. Alright, let's play the video.
Is anything necessarily wrong? There's nothing wrong, and that's the point. Like, I don't even know why I'm upset. I'm just like not thinking that I made the right decision. Like, and I have a good man, I do, and that's not the point. The point is, it's like, you really do lose yourself. You lose your sense of individuality. You lose your sense of peace. And this could be even to a good man. Like, you're gonna lose something, and I don't think it's worth it. Like, at all. I've always had a dream of, like, getting out of my hometown, like, city, and moving on, like, moving forward. Like, life is supposed to be an experience. Like, we're supposed to be doing new things and traveling, and I don't know if I want to continue doing this every single day of my life. Like, always checking in with someone, always having to consider their feelings, it's always somebody else. You're never alone. Even if it's absolutely worth it, I don't think it is.
Alright, y'all, as y'all see, I have to pause the video. I have to stop the video. Because Shorty's just dribbly, she's emotionally crying but anyway, a woman say that despite being married for 7 years to the perfect husband, she's still unhappy and feel like she married the wrong person. Alright people, I'm gonna give my opinion on this, right? Me personally, I watched the whole video, right? She was talking about, oh, life was supposed to be, you have experience, you do a lot of things. I understand that point of what she's saying, but she also come to realize that tied down with somebody by basically decided to where being in a relationship where it come down to where you're gonna end up marrying to that person. Like I said, people, this is something in life where we gotta sit down and ask ourselves, this is what should we do about life? This is why sometimes I look at life, bro, don't force life, don't force what happened, let it flow, let everything happen, let everything play the part of what it's supposed to play out to be. You know what I'm saying? We don't have where the future holds. We don't know the answer of everything, you know? This is why another thing also, what's so fucked up about this whole thing, she waited for 7 years after marrying a person who she also know that, which she also cleared it in the video, that okay, the person that she's with, he's not the problem. He's a perfect man. He's a good man. That's what really fucked up about it, that you led on to this man life where this man could have found somebody else to where he could show a person that he could find love just by showing a person how much he accommodate that person, how much he mean to that person, how much he take the time out of his day to make sure he feels the love that he deserves. And you come on this fucking internet to where you making the whole point of you making this whole video where you don't know what's going on, you don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out, that's what it sounds like. You're trying to figure out life. You're trying to figure out what you could do with your own territory. Say what I could do, what I say, with no man telling me what to do. This is what you should have learned before you meant a commitment to this man. You should have made this as a clear clear transparency of where this could have been discussed. But hey, you know, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't probably see myself married. You gotta also understand these are things that we gotta come mutual agreement on to being transparent into what we're looking for, you know. And this is why sometimes as 25 years old, I learned that focusing on myself is my number one priority of life. Loving myself, because people, when you take the time to invest into somebody, these are things that come with energy, time management. You could be out here working, stuff like that. Make your bread, stack your shit up. These are women out here don't know what they want nowadays. I'm not trying to say all women don't know what they want. There are beautiful women that know what they want. There are some women that have their head on their shoulder that know their worth. It's just so fucked up that this world of women like this just always finding a lot of excuses out of life. Because you come to where you take the time, not only just waste 7 years out of that marriage, you waste this man's time, you waste all of his time where you could have just kept it a buck and say, hey, I'm not looking to where I want to marry. You know? I'm telling you, I learned that in life, bro. You cannot save everybody. You gotta save yourself. Sometimes you just gotta let people be. Lay people where they supposed to be laid at, alone, and deserve to be alone. Because, bro, if you take all that energy just to focus on to fix things, you're not gonna get nowhere. Because she had the nerve to come on social media, fake crying about this, talking about, oh my God, guys, I'm not happy, I don't know what it is. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. And you just, like, what? And you... Shorty, it's just you the problem. Just get help. Just work on yourself. Stop going into these men's life to ruin their reputation where they could have built something with somebody, but you took the time to waste 7 years into that marriage where you come to realize that marriage is maybe not for you, but you realize that now before you tie down with this man. But anyway, man, like the video, repost the video, and I'm out. Y'all, peace, man. People out there, focus on life, man. Don't waste time. Don't let nobody waste your time. It's 2026 now. Let's start a new year focusing on ourselves. Let's have to make decisions if we have to. Let's cut people off if we have to. Let's show people that our work matter, man. The principle of self-discipline matter, man. Stop letting women like this jeopardize your goal, bro. Because like I said, these women nowadays, when they don't see that you don't have nothing, they're gonna go find somebody who got more than you. So, yeah.
I knew that this video was going to spark controversy. And I'm here to help you out with that. I'm here to give my insight, because you're not gonna get this in church. So I'm here to dive deep, right? To bring some type of clarity to why the Apostle Paul said what he said about marriage. That if you partake in marriage, there would be many troubles. And then he went on even further to say, but I'm trying to spare you. I'm trying to help you out. It's pretty self-explanatory. So this video is for all those who got in my comments and saying, well, marriage is supposed to be where two people go through life together. And, well, it's better to marry than to burn. Bless your heart. Hear me out. Singleness and marriage, both are very, very common. But yet, both are very rare. Well, how can something so common be so rare at the same time? I'm glad you asked. Singleness, when it's done correctly, we are to be celibate, offer our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. For this is our reasonable service. We're supposed to take our gifts and our talents and abilities and use them for the glory of God. You know, for the Great Commission is what we're called to, making disciples of men, if we're doing it correctly. That is why it's rare. Very few people are being single successfully in God's eyes. Now, this message, of course, is only for those who are believers. The Bible says that we are not to judge the world. They have a different father, okay? The reason why marriage, and probably only 1% of the marriages out there is doing it correctly. I said 1%. Well, I don't understand what you mean. I know I'm doing it correctly because are you? Here's the problem. The majority of men, including believers, do not know how to properly and correctly submit themselves up under God. They don't. A lot of them just think, well, as long as I'm going to church, well, as long as I got married, I'm not out here fornicating, I'm married, I got a wife to do, Well, I'm a deacon, or I'm an apostle, I'm a bishop, I'm a teacher at the church. I'm over this one, and I'm over that, and I'm over this. No, that's religious. That's even the Pharisees did. Even the Pharisees did that, and that's why Jesus said, "Away from me, you work of iniquity. I knew you not." Because so many men do not know how to submit themselves rightly under God, but then want to fix their mouth to demand submission from the woman. Before you fix your mouth to command a woman to submit to you, you must first submit yourself rightly under God. Now, let's break this thing down. Why am I doing marriage wrong? Well, a lot of men don't understand, and I've heard teachers explain it this way. When you meet your bride at the altar, sir, this is where you go to die. Altars symbolically in the Bible represents sacrifices. This is where they would bring their sacrifices on the altar to die. And a lot of men don't know how to die. So much of your flesh is still very much alive in your marriage. This is where you go down and take up your cross. This is where now your wife no longer sees you as Adam. She sees you as Christ. She sees you as Lord, as Sarah did Abraham. You know that thing that Christ did for us when he went up on the cross and he died for us? He died for his bride. And a lot of men don't know what that even looks like. A lot of you believers who are men don't even know how Christ loved his bride. What does that even look like? Could you even write an essay on it? He was her redeemer. Presented her without spot or wrinkle. And so many of y'all want to gossip about what she did. And how she did is want to just go gossip to family and on social media and to whoever will listen. Dragging her. You're supposed to be her provider, the love of her soul, her peace. And so many of you don't even know how to do that. You don't even know who Christ was to his bride, the church. That's your first assignment. Go and study how Christ loved his bride and gave himself up for her. It's more than just walking on the outside of the sidewalk, putting her on the inside to show that I'm a great protector. It's more than that. It's more to it than that, sir. This is why he tells us in his word, count the cost before you follow me. Because he already knew it wasn't going to be easy. Right? See, let me tell y'all what you guys are doing. A lot of you men are taking the curses from the Garden of Eden and dragging it over into your marriage and wondering why Eve is showing up. Let me say that again. A lot of you are taking the curses from the garden and bringing it over into your marriage, and you're wondering why she is controlling. Why is she trying to dominate you? Well, when you bring that fleshly, that Adam type love, then that's when Eve is going to show up. Well, because you do remember part of her curse, right, was to her desire to be for her husband. That was a curse, which means that word desire in Hebrew, which I did a video on this, means to control, to dominate. So when you come to her like Adam, old Eve is going to show up. But when you bring Christ-like love into your marriage, then that's when you get your bride. That's when you get the woman of God. You get a whole different woman, right? Y'all ever see the movie Fireproof? Well, he was getting all that pushback. Well, because he was loving her with that Adam type love. You know, when Adam, you know, that Adam type love when he was in the garden. Remember when God came looking for Adam? Said, Adam, where are you? And he said, what is this you have done? And immediately, what did Adam do? Is that woman? Is that woman that you gave me? It's her. Start blaming. And that's what a lot of these men, that's how you know you're in your Adam era. You're in your Adam. You have a spirit of Adam. Because the moment you want to start blaming her, it's you. You're the reason. You did not show her Christ. You didn't love her. Is that what Christ do, by the way? Do Christ go and gossip about, you know, to family members and to the world and whatever? Listen, does he drag his wife? You know, does he abuse her? Is he unfaithful? So you can't condemn her. See, you would have been better off single than to get over on the other side of God's covenant, on the other side of the marriage certificate, busting hell wide open, using your covenant as a sinful cesspool, because you're looking at marriage as free sex and I can make her submit. And so it's about power and sex. Power and sex. That is not the point of marriage. And then you wonder why he says when you mistreat your wife, your prayers will be hindered. You would have been better off doing all of that in your singleness. You know, porn, cheating, abuse. You understand what I'm saying? But you want to get over on the other side of God's covenant and treat her like trash? Woe unto you. Woe unto you. See, she should see Christ in you. Marriage is to be a reflection of how Christ loved the church. It's for ministry. You should be doing ministry together. It's more than just going through life. Who wants to just go through life? No, you don't become alive and actually live abundantly until Christ is being represented and glorified in that marriage. That's when you truly begin to live. That's why he said, apart from me, you are nothing. Your marriage is dead without him. So, think about it. That's my insight. Do with this information whatever you will. Blessings to you.
So the last lady, you know, she's been saying that she's unhappy. She has a good husband. He does everything. There are no arguments. There are no fights. You know, he's just a all-round good husband, but she's still not happy. And people are literally coming for her neck. Like, why are these women coming on this internet street crying about having good men, but they are unhappy? Just like I explained earlier, some of these things you need to understand that, like perimenopause, menopause, hormonal imbalance, you know, is a psychological, chemical imbalance in the body. Sometimes transitioning from a woman first stage to whatever second stage in her life. You need to understand. A lot of men do not understand that, and they feel as if women are just doing too much at this point. You need to really understand. You need to wake up and understand your woman, you know. And I get it. Sometimes you might not have it all. Like if you have a man that is halfway, you know, through with doing his responsibilities, maybe it's about time you start talking and communicate your feelings exactly how you feel. But the problem is a lot of women, when they even communicate how they feel, they are transitioning and how whatever it's affecting them. You know, it's a privilege to have men that are providing, but it's also good to understand it's not just enough to just provide, right? But a lot of men are not putting in the work, even women too. So I just think at the end of the day, everyone should just understand their role and should intentionally be invested in understanding their partners. That's the only way forward. That's just the absolute truth. So guys, if you have come far in this video, can you drop your thoughts regarding this topic? But before you go, hit on the like button, hit on the subscribe button, hype this video, hit on the notification bell in order not to miss any of my videos. See you in the next one. Have a blessed day.